Okay, so I can start seeing I'm seeing all the. I think we're live right now. Can everyone hear us? If you can hear me, get it. Oh, okay, everyone can hear us. We're live. Perfect. Hey everyone, welcome to In the Black. This is the first session of the summit, and this entire week is for you to help you get prepared for Black Friday. So, in the black in accounting means to be profitable, and during Black Friday, it's kind of like, and the holiday season in general, it's a sort of make or break period for online retailers. There's promotions going on. You're trying to get as much traffic as you can, as many sales. You're maybe discounting your products. At the same time, you have increased costs of promotion, ads, and so on. And so what we want to do this week is to help you make sure that you have all your systems and processes down and ready, so that when the holiday season comes around during promotion time, your things are not falling apart or breaking, just as it almost broke for this webinar this morning. So if you get everything prepared in advance, then during the actual hectic period of the holidays, things will be a lot easier for you to handle. And so even if there are fires, you can put them out. So this whole week is all about getting together experts who can talk to you about their past experiences, the way they've helped other e-commerce stores and big e-commerce businesses, and the practices that they've put in, the automations that they've set up, so that you could just replicate that and make life a lot easier for you. So that being said, I'm going to get started right away because we're already 15 minutes in. If you don't know me, you've probably got a crap ton of emails from me. I'm really sorry about all of that. But just, during the summit, there's going to be a few emails coming out to you to remind you when a webinar starts, send you the replay links. My name is Sid. From the emails, I work with the team here at Gorgias. Gorgias is a Shopify help desk. So it's a help desk that allows you to automate your support. We're going to be hearing more from the CEO of Gorgias later today. But if you haven't checked it out, go to gorgias.io, gorgias.io. And today, to kickstart our summit, our first speaker is Aaron from Shopify Plus. He is the editor-in-chief of Shopify Plus. So all that content you see on the Shopify Plus blog, Aaron is kind of the mastermind behind it. You've probably seen his posts personally from him. And Aaron has done a lot of interviews with big e-commerce stores, some of the biggest ones, like, for example, Allbirds, which is now a billion-dollar unicorn company. Aaron has done surveys, and he's got a lot of data. He's seen this happen every year working at Shopify Plus, and he's worked with all these companies to help them scale up their operations during Black Friday and the holiday campaign. So I'm really excited to have him on open with us and share all his ideas, his stats and opportunities so that you can benefit from them too.
Delighted to be here today, Sid. And Sid sort of mentioned, I love that. Calm under pressure. Well done, sir. Here we are. We're live. We're rolling. My goal today, as the lead kickoff for this amazing event that Sid has so masterfully put together, is to work through some of the big picture data on holiday e-commerce, especially Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Sid's going to be jumping in from time to time with questions, and if you have any questions, be sure to hit up the Q&A box. I'm going to try to hang out afterwards and answer some of those one-on-one or even via email afterwards. Fair warning, I'm going to cover a lot in a short amount of time, particularly a lot of data. If you want to dig into more details, 95% of everything I'm going to be talking about is located in one of 3 articles. And I even made, look at that, Gorgias-holiday. There's a bit.ly link that'll send you directly to the Black Friday page on the Shopify Plus blog. You'll see some of these images when you jump in there. There's guides to go with it. You can download these. There's extra content, all kinds of wonderful things. Now, to start, I want to give a little bit of the good news, right? If you're still planning your holiday strategy, you are not alone. We are here, right on the cusp of October, November, and these beautiful bubbles you see in front of me are based on a survey we did with exclusively 10 million and above annual revenue merchants on Shopify Plus. A lot of the data I'm going to be talking about comes from that, as well as those other sources I mentioned at the top. And one of the things that really surprised me, and just in case this chart doesn't make you feel much better, this one should. October is the second most planning month among large, high-volume businesses in e-commerce. So the big picture here is good news. It's not too late. Additional good news. People buy more over the holidays. I was really tempted to title this slide and the ones to follow, everything you already know, except better and worse. So let's roll through those fairly quickly. On the big picture revenue side of things, every year, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, holiday e-commerce continues to break records, and 2018 is absolutely no exception to that, right? Huge share to go around. Revenue increases, on-site conversion rate increases, off-site conversion rate through things like ads also increases. There's just a little bit of bad news to go along with that because, of course, a rising e-commerce tide does not necessarily lift all stores or ships. Now, ad spend increases dramatically to get all those traffic and eyeballs to your products. Average order value increases, if you can call it that. We'll dig in just a second. And customer retention decreases. Now, a lot of this is due to things like increased competition, and especially the customer retention side of things, people coming who are deal hunters that have no real intention of sticking around any longer than the best deal. Among the top 5 concerns for holiday e-commerce merchants, and this is the large merchants, rising ad spend ranked number 1. Customer service, which is fantastic you're here to hear from Gorgias later today, was number 2 in their concerns. The ironic thing about this is that not only was rising ad spend the number 1 concern among large merchants, they also ranked paid Facebook, paid Instagram, paid search as the top 3 very effective new customer acquisition channels. So you're very much a rock and a hard place. Mm-hmm. Just to give you a little bit of idea on exactly what that looks like, CPC on Facebook obviously spikes during Black Friday. That's $1.68 per click across the board. This is data that one of our friends, Common Thread Collective, put together when they tracked 6.8 million in Facebook ad spend that they manage for their clients over 2017. The average e-commerce and retail click-through on Facebook is usually around 70 cents. So it's a huge hike. Average order value. Now, this is interesting. This is more the bad news that maybe you had a suspicion of, but let's solidify it. We crunched the numbers from a host of different studies in preparation for the holiday season, Q4, and I want you to notice 2 things about this. First off, in 2016, Q4 was above the mean, the average order value average. In 2017, it was below. In both 2016 and 2017, Q4 average order value decreased from Q3. Now that's just in the United States. If we broaden that a little bit to worldwide, things actually get, well, a little tougher. Again, we've got the average in gray, and you can see Q4 is once again slightly above in 2016 and slightly below in 2017. Now, I'm terrible at math. So let me just boil all that down in one terrible news slide, and then we'll get into the good news. Average order value in the US for Q4 increases 1.45% across the board. That's it. Worldwide, it increases 0.24%. So this is the, if you can even call it an increase. Meanwhile, on the number 1 rated new customer acquisition channel, Facebook, ads skyrocket by 140%, cost per click. Put more bluntly, if all you do is what the rest of the industry does, you can expect it to cost you 140% more to even get clicked on Black Friday, Cyber Monday, with nothing more than maybe a 1.45 or 0.24% increase in average order value. What's an online business to do? Okay. 3 things I want to barrel through 6 points of concrete inspiration. Number one, buy your traffic early. Number two, make average order value your gold standard. That is the metric to rule them all. And three, remove checkout barriers, especially on mobile. Now, what do I mean by buy your traffic early? Again, Common Thread Collective tracked 6.8 million in Facebook ad spend over the holiday season, and you'll notice that while cost per click is slightly higher than October and November on that third week of November, it's still nothing compared to the Black Friday, Cyber Monday average. Whereas in the week before the holidays hit, conversion rate is the highest, average order value is the highest, and return on ad spend is the highest. Now, there's plenty more inside the second of the three posts I mentioned at the very start of this that really digs into the details on exactly how to buy your traffic early. So I'm going to go past this one fairly quickly and just reference you back to that and just get into those 6 points of concrete inspiration.
Well, that's interesting, Aaron, because just if the week before Black Friday and Cyber Monday, the conversion rate spikes, I would have expected that people would wait and hold off till like a promotion before converting into a sale. So why do you think that is?
Why does it peak a little bit before?
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that these clients did in particular, these merchants, was they created pre-sales landing pages in a lot of, and so they would release some of their deals early, but only if somebody went to that specific page you could only access through the ad.
Right.
Now, some of them did that, some of them didn't.
So they're still like promoting a deal, but during the period where the cost per click is still lower than.
Right.
Yeah, that's smart.
And what's super interesting is, right, Facebook lets you do delayed attribution up to 28 days to measure when someone clicked the ad, how long did it take them to actually complete the purchase. Yeah. And that's one of the really interesting insights from Common Thread Collective's study is that as you start to look at delayed attribution, exactly what you just said, people check out the deals early, which then gets them to raise their hand on the retargeting pixel, and then they come back and you can hit them for still less money, right, to get them there back again, and they're basically pre-qualified to want to buy your stuff because they're waiting for that deal to drop.
Nice.
Speaking of waiting for the deal to drop, let's look at a few of the examples. This first one's an interesting one, right? Because we're all about average order value, and this is a little bit of a 2-for-1. So Melon Brand did a gift card based on spending threshold deal. You spend $100, you get a $50 gift card. The bonus here is post-date that gift card, so someone has to wait if they buy it over Black Friday, Cyber Monday until after the holiday. If they buy it in late November, they have to come back in December. And if they buy it in December, unless it's an actual gift, you can play around with the idea of post-dating it even into January to up the retention numbers. In this case, they saw an 8.24 return on ad spend at those high volume days. Second point of inspiration, Diff Eyewear is one of my favorite charity, as well as baller merchants on Shopify Plus who just do some great things. They created a tiered % off based on number of products. And notice that even in the ads that are teeing these up, that tiered structure that motivates increases in average order value is there. Buy one, 30%, buy two, 40%, buy three, 50%. Now here are the results we're going to get a little more detailed on. 7.54 return on ad spend, which is actually 150% above their return on ad spend through year average. And by front loading this % off base that's looking at AOV, they were able to increase AOV 17%. And when you think about the average increase in AOV, that's an incredible lift for something like Black Friday, Cyber Monday.
That's smart.
Inspiration number 3, and this is where we start to get pretty fancy. All right, Axe Back, also Shopify. They created a bundled product with % off via a specific landing page. So they sent shoppers, instead of to their homepage or even to specific product pages, the landing page that you'll see here. And those bundles were meant to enable them to drop prices significantly where they normally don't, and they have very high MSRP products. But by combining them, right, they're able to basically sell more, ship for less, or at least less profit margin crunching shipping costs. In this case, they saw an 11.49 ROS, a 400% increase over their through the year average. This bumped increase in average order value 18%, and just golden here, nearly a 200% increase in conversion rates. Now, all of this is their pre-gaming up to Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and then the results I'm showing here are from the holiday weekend itself. Very grateful for the people that have pulled back the curtain on these.
Very nice. Just a quick note, like the ROAS that we're talking about, typically a 3x ROAS is considered good in like the Facebook ad and advertising world. So when you're getting like 11.49 and 7 and 8 from the previous ones, those are like just amazing.
And definitely check out what Andrew from Common Thread Collective put together. That post is long on the blog, and it is masterful.
Nice.
Of course, the question comes up, what if you can't discount? So I Heart Dogs, which does not discount their products. So it goes against their brand, it goes against their charitable foundations. What they did is normally they donate one meal to a sheltered dog for every email sign up. Over the holiday weekend, they bumped that up to 2 meals. So it appeared on all their on-site collateral, it appeared in their ads, it appeared in their overlays and pop-ups. In this case, what they saw was actually a decrease in the ad spend that drove traffic to those signups during Black Friday, Cyber Monday. But once customers realized there's no crazy big discount coming, and they got that warm and fuzzy feeling by signing up for the email over Black Friday, Cyber Monday, when those holiday emails started hitting based on that campaign, their return on ad spend spiked. So this is where it's really important, again, to do that tracking, the attribution, so you can tie the original ad that got somebody to sign up for something like your email newsletter or a specific segmented campaign based on the holidays. And in this case, they had their 2 most successful weeks of the year, sans a discount.
Nice.
Inspiration number 5, I believe we're on. Maybe it's 6. Now, this is from Rich Fulop. He's the CEO of Brooklyn, another one of my favorite brands. He talked about how they've done some extensive testing. Things like dollar-based deals versus percent-based deals at different levels, all trying to maximize the winning ROI combination. That extensive testing throughout 2017 led to a free gifts plus tiered discounts based on cart value deal structure. So now it's getting advanced. I'm telling you, this is the smart stuff. What that looked like was whenever somebody crossed the $35 cart value threshold, an overlay was fired, a pop-up, that then invited them to add a specific candle to their cart for free, right? Just to incentivize actions. Rebecca Minkoff did something very similar. And here I've got just a little animated GIF so you can see how when somebody, in this case, crossed their spending threshold, that gift is just automatically added to the cart, right? There's no coupons, there's no buttons to click. You can do it either way. Going back to Brooklyn, and they also laid on top of that $30 free candle gift a tiered dollar off discount structure. Spend $800, $200, spend $500, $100, spend $250, $50. So they're optimizing for AOV to increase the amount of money that comes through each click that they're paying so much money for to get them there. This also took place at the cart level, utilizing Shopify scripts and some custom coding. So here you can see I do a lot of stalking when it comes to Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So I was on their site last year, and as a customer changes the cart value, those tiers automatically kick into action. So again, there's no need for coupons. It's site-wide, and it's all a smooth process for the person that's actually experiencing this. And notice in every single one of these cases, right, they're calculating the exact dollar value. How much do you need to add to your cart in order to unlock the next threshold? Lastly, most online businesses put their best offers front and center, right, to make buying easy. So what if you did the opposite? This is what 100% Pure did last year. What they did was created exclusive products at deeply discounted, sometimes up to 75% off the regular priced items. They did it on Black Friday, they did it on Cyber Monday. They cycled through new products inside this special collection all through the holidays. You could look at the items, you could see the price of the items. The only thing you couldn't do is purchase them. So these were displayed along with on-site marketing collateral, driving people to this special collection. And the way that it was activated, again, was at the cart level. So as somebody crossed the spending threshold necessary to give them access to these deeply discounted items, a special URL was unlocked at the cart level, letting them in. I mean, these are some, I'm just incredibly grateful. I can't say this enough. It's a sketchy thing to actually share these kind of details. 100% Pure, Brooklyn, and these people that are just showing the best of the best, very grateful to them. And this is operating through Shopify scripts, just a little bit of custom coding on top of that.
This is really smart. This is like going outside the box, and like what most retailers do is just like a blanket, oh, everything is 40% off or whatever. But these guys are sort of like focused on, like alternative strategies versus just a straight up discount, right? Like adding gifts if you reach a certain level, or giving you a deeper discount if you buy more, or not even discounting, but just like, giving some of the sales to donations.
Right, and it all goes back to AOV.
Yeah.
That gold standard of you're paying through the nose to get people here.
Right. Yeah.
Get the most from them you possibly can.
Exactly. And so it goes back to what I said in the start with like being in the black, right? Trying to be profitable. So, if you just do a blanket 40% discount and then your CPC costs raise, then you're sort of maybe not even breaking even at that point, right? With your Black Friday holiday shopping sales. But then if you focus on AOV, even if the Facebook costs a little higher, you can still try to get that much more in sales because people are buying the bundles, they're buying more in bulk because they want the higher discounts of the gifts.
Yes, absolutely. It's you're going to pay to get them on site. Your conversion rates will go up. I mean, everybody loves a good deal. They will go up, but all that can be very misleading when it comes to return on ad spend.
Exactly, yeah. So that AOV and that ROAS, hopefully you guys have been looking at some of these examples. I'm not sure if you've already planned, those of you who are planning to do a promotion, let us know in the comments. Did you already have like a promotion planned, and had your plans changed because of this talk, because of some of the ideas here? What are some of the new ideas that are coming up for you in terms of kind of new promotions that you want to try out? And maybe we can just, maybe comment on that.
Oh, yeah.
So once its plans change.
Fantastic. Love it. Actually, in fact, here, look, if you're going to screenshot a specific slide, this is the one. Let's summarize the whole AOV structure.
Nice.
Right? Number one, optimize for AOV from the jump. Ads to email to on-site marketing. So there's a consistent through message, all focusing on getting the most and giving the most to your customers. Holiday exclusive product bundles. So collections, or like in the case of AxeBat, straight up Black Friday, Cyber Monday landing pages with those collections highlighted on them. But these product bundles are very important. Experiment with spending thresholds. And because I work for Shopify Plus, right, you use our product to do it. That's what I'm saying. But there's a bunch of ideas, right? So here goes free gifts, gift cards. Pro tip is to post date, tiered percent off versus dollar off, and then unlocking extra special deals, that 100% Pure example. So this is one. I'll just camp out on this for a second in case you want to screenshot it and forget what, like everything else Sid and I and everyone else is going to say. This is the go-to. Yeah,
we'll be sending you a replay right after this as well, and we'll be hosting this talk on the website at summit.gorgias.io. So in case you kind of want to like go back and see some of that stuff, it's coming out to you as well. But yeah, screenshot this, and in the chat, let us know if what you're thinking now. What anything else? Any new stuff coming to you? Any new ideas about collections, gifts, that kind of stuff? and take advantage. Aaron is right here. He can give you some feedback on that stuff.
Oh,
Says thank you for the screen cap tip.
Excellent. Yeah. So I've just got a couple more. In fact, it's sort of like this is my extra. Oh, and one last thing.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I know, right? How hacky is that? It's like, but wait, there's more.
Channeling the inner Steve Jobs.
Okay, the one last thing, and then hopefully you can field some questions you can tee me up for. Mobile browsing does not equal mobile buying. It's a painful disconnect, right? Because everybody knows that traffic is now predominantly driven through mobile, but that simply still isn't true in e-commerce industry-wide when it comes to sales. So we crunched the numbers from a host of sources last year, 35.8 billion done through mobile, but there's that inverted relationship. That 56% of traffic on mobile is expected to actually increase this year again, right? From people shopping in store, whether out and about, to just that's my normal standard operating procedure is when I'm in chill mode and I want to actually do a little bit of browsing, I'm on my mobile device. The downside of that is desktop still controls revenue. So even though mobile controls traffic, it's far smaller when it comes to sales, except on Shopify. These are raw numbers. Every year, Shopify just goes nuts with releasing a ton of proprietary data on Black Friday, Cyber Monday. And this one's a pretty rare one. This shows the number of orders by device on mobile versus desktop, along with a pretty chart there just to really drive home how mobile outperforms desktop across Shopify. I know this was like when this came across, I was like, yeah, I'm putting this in every piece of sales material. I'm gonna jam this thing in. And because I'm bad at math, right? Here's a quick, pretty little breakdown of this. Means it's almost the inverse of what we saw industry-wide on Shopify. Close to 60% of orders, sales, were on mobile during Black Friday, Cyber Monday in 2017 for Shopify. Now, there's lots of, okay, so what does that mean? And I just want to boil it down to two advantages, two suggestions I'm going to make. Test out Shopify-specific options for impulse buyers, those mobile buyers, that can dramatically improve conversion rates. So two specific options. The first is what's called Shopify Pay Accelerated Checkout. Now, this is essentially a two-factor authentication that's run through Shopify Pay, one of the default mechanisms that Shopify merchants can use on site. And if you enable accelerated checkout, it creates a two-factor authentication that basically sends a text message to anybody who shopped at any other Shopify store, 600,000 merchants and growing, any other Shopify store, and has saved their information. So it's almost sort of like our pushback against the ease with which you can order on Amazon.
Nice.
The other one is dynamic checkout. Now, dynamic checkout was released at Unite earlier this year, our big developer partner conference. So it hasn't been tested yet over Black Friday, Cyber Monday. But what this is it loads on product pages as close as you can get to a one-click checkout. So first it populates a buy now button. And then anybody who clicks the buy now button and goes through something like PayPal, Amazon Pay, Google Pay, any of these options, it's then saved universally, again, across all of those 600,000 Shopify stores. So that the next time anybody visits a product page where dynamic checkout is enabled, they're given their last preferred payment method that they can then order whatever that product is without going through a traditional checkout. This just makes mobile buying that much faster and easier, especially for impulse shoppers over the holidays.
That's amazing. So we're going to be covering a lot of ways to get people on your mobile phone to impulse buy over this week. And this kind of checkout format allows them to do it really quickly versus, looking at something and then having too many steps to go through the checkout and then saying, oh, I'll come back to it and then maybe forgetting.
Oh, exactly.
This is awesome.
But that was a flood for me.
Yeah. That was That was a lot of amazing information. This guy that Aaron has been sharing with us, this is stuff that they have mined through the Shopify database, and obviously, Shopify processes like billions of dollars in holiday sales and stuff. So this is like really, fascinating stuff that you guys can use in your promotions. And I see Kaylin has already commented. She says that we've already got most of the Black Friday, Cyber Monday planned, but we're definitely going to offer the early Black Friday deals through Facebook. Love that idea. So if you guys had any other ideas that came from this, put it in the comments over there. If you have questions, I know we went through a lot of this stuff really quickly, but we're trying to keep it within the hour. But if you have questions, Aaron's going to be hanging out and maybe answering some of that stuff over the next 10 to 15 minutes. And finally, there's that little gorgeous holiday gift that he has for us at bit.ly/gorgeous-holiday.
Yeah, so much more goodness there. And then you can fact check me too, for anybody that's suspicious, as you rightfully should be.
Yeah, we've got a couple of questions. First one, not using dynamic checkout on product page. Does that mean it's buy one product at a time?
It is. It's one product at a time. And so the idea there is if someone is doing competitive shopping or competitive analysis, we're just making it as easy as possible for them to jump through the process. And that's why I use that phrase, impulse buyer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, of course, you've immediately then got them for continued upsells later on.
Right.
The process once.
Oh, okay. So would it be possible to, just going back to some of the strategies we talked about, like, for example, the bundling to increase the AOV, is it possible to use that with a bundle on a bundle page?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
Perfect.
Now, you're going to have to do a little bit of app integration, and I don't want to necessarily favor anybody, but yeah, Shopify apps bundling, you'll notice if you just Google that, there's some pretty clear winners about the best reviewed apps to do that bundling. But as long as it's on a product page, yes. So you can still take advantage of bundling and average order value increases.
Nice. Dave asks, are you seeing a bigger focus on Facebook or Google ads?
That's a great question. So obviously, when we talk to the 10 million plus large merchants on Shopify Plus, that came across as the clear winner. Facebook for new customer acquisition. When it came to reactivating existing customers, email wins by a landslide. And then Facebook comes in and the other usual suspects. What I think this means is there's still a lot of room for growth when it comes to Google Ads.
Yeah.
Especially a savvy combination of ads as well as product listing ads, right? You know the difference between those two. Like basically one used to be AdWords, where you can target very specific keywords, negative keywords, go after competitors, do things that are high intent, like best high heel red shoe deals on Black Friday, right? And just serve it up for that, versus product listing ads, which you basically have to control through Google, and you don't get as much control over that. But what's encouraging about that is because it wasn't rated so highly, and I've heard this behind the scenes as well, a lot of room for big wins still on Google. Right.
Okay. Interesting. And like ads are just, I think ads are sort of like, people look at it as the biggest channel, but there's a lot of other channels that you can do if you don't have like a massive ad budget. And we're actually going to be covering a lot of that in this summit, right? So there's the email, like you mentioned, and the stat earlier that said a lot of people are concerned about customer support. Scaling that up, like good customer support is actually a way to increase sales because you're making people more loyal and they're coming back and they're bringing their friends. So we're talking about customer support and loyalty as alternatives to just throwing a lot of money at ads. But yeah, if you do have an ad budget, you know what Aaron said here today, hopefully that will help. We have more questions coming in. Dynamic checkout, how do you add that, and how does it work with Stripe?
Ooh, that's a technical question that I probably am not smart enough to answer. The Stripe one. How to is, simply Google Shopify Plus Dynamic Checkout. That'll send you directly to the install page that's inside the help docs. And it's just a few clicks away.
Nice. All right. Christian asks, what is the best way to A/B test e-commerce ads for e-commerce sites for Facebook ads? What is the best way to A/B test your e-commerce ads for, or your Facebook ads for your e-commerce site?
Honestly, through Facebook's ad manager.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Right. And just make sure, I think when a lot of people say A/B test, they think like, I'm going to run one campaign against another campaign. And then they just sort of blanket it out to either their, the entire saved database audience they've got, or if they've got some custom audiences, and they don't really do a true A/B test.
Right.
Right. Which is just a matter of, if people are going to respond to a % off deal more or a $1 off deal more? And the other big mistake that I see people make is they try to do the testing leading up to, which is not always a good indicator of what's actually going to perform when rubber meets the road on Black Friday, Cyber Monday.
Right.
It's kind of doing like a long game play to say, we're going to continue testing straight through this year because we're bigger than a 1-year hit. Mm-hmm. Right? Our brand is bigger than it. So whatever we learn this year, we're going to apply next year, rather than just feeling like, let's get a small marginal winner early and just go all in on that.
Right. So continuously testing out those ads throughout the year. And like you mentioned earlier on, sort of building that list even before the holidays hit. So even right now, if you haven't started, you start with some ads now to maybe build up like an audience. And then you can use retargeting and email to convert that audience into sales during the actual holiday season. So you're taking advantage of the lower CPC right now, and then you're converting them later.
I talked with Will Hyde, I think is his name. And he's like 23. He's run just ridiculous campaigns for large brands. And one of the things he talked to me about was on Facebook and Instagram, running pure engagement campaigns.
Nice.
In the weeks leading up to it.
Yeah.
And the idea there being it's far less expensive. You can test and get much higher sample sizes to messaging. And then you've got a saved audience, a custom audience. I don't know if you really call it retargeting, but you've got an audience that's already engaged with your brand when the big days hit.
Exactly. Yeah. That's a smart idea. And I use that for like software companies as well. It's just basically you're sort of warming up an audience, and then you're retargeting. You could say, it's a retargeting audience that you would, they become a retargeting audience during the actual holiday season. And then your costs are lower as a retargeting ad.
Yes. Costs are lower across the board.
Yeah. And someone asked tips for YouTube ads. I'd say that kind of like falls into the same thing, whether it's Google, YouTube, Facebook, kind of like you'd follow the same framework in that you're sort of warming up an audience prior to the actual sales event. And then during the sales event, you're hitting that audience that's already aware of your brand with the discount. So now they're more likely to buy from you because they've seen your brand before, they trust you.
You're building a relationship.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's not just the ads, right? Like, they interact with the ads. Maybe you can try to get them onto your email list. Maybe you can try to get them to read like some blog posts, or get them to sign up for your messenger kind of like series, right? And so once you have that inside your email and your messenger, then you can do further email promotions, and sending an email is practically free, right? So,
no, that's actually really smart, because we didn't talk at all about email, and across the board, email it was the highest converting source last year. And every study you ever read ever basically says email wins.
Yeah.
It's the lowest cost, highest return. And so anything you can do to build that list, have at it.
Yep. We'll be covering some more list building strategies later in the summit. Join us for those. But yeah, email is the highest converting. And I saw that stat in the Shopify blog as well, where it's always been the highest converting channel. So try to build that email list. If you don't have one right now, maybe you can start right now. It's not too late. But also take a long-term view. This is this holiday season. You'll learn a few things and then start building an email for the next holiday season.
Absolutely.
We still have a few more questions. If you have time, Aaron, for a couple more.
Yeah, we'll try to cut it off at the 55. How about that?
All right. Okay. So we have 4 more minutes. Let me see. Let's go with specifically, how was AOV increased in that example you had for bundles? Seems counterintuitive.
Counterintuitive. Well, I mean, what they're doing is they're selling you a bundle of products rather than individual products that you have to build a cart for yourself. So you're automatically going in with a larger purchase price, larger average order value in pure dollars. than anybody who's cobbling something together based on a 40% site-wide offer.
Okay, yeah. So instead of someone buying like maybe one pair of shoes for $40, you're throwing in the socks and the shorts and a bunch of other things with it. And so it's 40 plus the other items in there. So it's like a larger bundle. So you're spending $100, $120 for that bundle.
It's a higher ticket price, which means you can discount more and still sell more pure dollar value.
Exactly. Hopefully that answers your question for that. Let's see. There's more questions around dynamic pay and dynamic checkout for Shopify in terms of like, I guess, yeah, how do you set it up? So you can look up in the help documents on Shop. Is it just a Shopify Plus thing or is it Shopify?
No, it's not.
Okay, so you can use it on just like a regular Shopify?
Yep.
Okay, so just check out the help docs on how to set that up if you want to start putting that together now. And then someone asks, is there an easy way to make a seamless user experience if they're doing a combination of dropshipping and the Amazon affiliate program via the Shopify store?
Oh, buddy, that is beyond my wheelhouse. I don't, because I mean, you mentioned some of the good brands. I'd name dropped a bunch of good brands because I interact with those folks more often that are building like their own experience. I just don't get much interaction with drop shipping at Amazon. I hate to say it. I know I'm super uncool, but
yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of good resources on the regular Shopify blog if you wanna look that up.
Or Oberlo.
Yeah, or Oberlo. Of course, you can always contact me here at Gorgias, where I've also worked with a lot of dropshipping companies, so I can maybe give you some of my thoughts on it. You can contact the guys at Shopify too. And yeah, any more questions? There's a couple more questions about Shopify Pay. That is not exclusively for Shopify Plus. It is for Shopify Regular. So there's a couple of questions there asking if you need to be a Plus customer. You do not. Christian asks, would it be better to segment an audience or should we choose a large, broad audience for Facebook ads? I would say segment an audience. So we talked about the engagement strategy. You can use a broad audience for the engagement, and then you segment the most engaged ones, and then
excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. That's 100%. Nice. Okay, I feel better because Sid already agreed with me.
Any other questions, guys? I think we're almost almost to the 55. Once again, thank you all for joining us today for this first session of In the Black. I hope you are excited for the rest of the sessions coming up. I hope you learned a lot today. And thank you, Aaron, for sharing all of this data. If everyone enjoyed that, please drop a comment in the chat. Tell Aaron thanks. And coming up in just a couple of hours, we will have Roman from Gorgias. Roman's actually in the room with me, and he just wants to like wave at you guys.
Hey, everyone.
He's the CEO of Gorgias, and he's going to be talking about customer support, which is what Aaron mentioned earlier as one of the big concerns for retailers is right after the ads, which we spoke about today. How do you manage customer support? How do you scale that up during the frenzy of holidays? Roman will be sharing some tips and tricks to do that.
That's the man to ask. Yeah.
Yep.
Crazy good reputation inside the closed Facebook groups I'm a part of on Shopify Plus. It's insane. I mean, what a good reputation you people have.
Thanks, man. Thank you. And thank you, everyone. Yeah, thanks, people. Yeah, we will send you the replay and recording at the end of the day. So you'll get an email with the replay for today's talks, which are Aaron's talk and then Roman's talk at the end of the day. You'll also get links to the freebies that Aaron and Roman are giving out, which is Aaron's giving you that bit.ly link. I'll post it here. His guide on holiday shopping, and Roman will be giving a free month on Gorgias. So, you'll have to show up for that one too if you want to get that. So
thank you so much for having me. This was delightful.
Thank you, guys. Have a great day. See you in a few hours for the next show. Talk to you soon.
Take care.
Peace out, Aaron. Peace out, everyone. I see there's still some folks hanging around, but if you still have questions, let me know, or you can email me, sid@gorgias.io. But I will sort of log off and end the meeting right now if there are no questions, and then we will see you again at 2 p.m. Pacific time. Bye, everyone.